Thanks for coming back to another exciting episode of the Denied Entry to USA show. And that's all I'm going to say regarding that. So today's episode is going to be about, let's see here. I've got US Entry Waiver Services, reasons for inadmissibility. Now, people need to understand when you go to that US border and you're inadmissible, it can be for any number of reasons. There's no one set reason, for inadmissibility. Even if you stole a car at 19 and you live in Winnipeg, and yeah, that makes you inadmissible. But you could also be inadmissible if you're going down to the border, you have no criminality, no immigration violations, but the guard thinks that you're going to become what's called a public charge, which means basically you have no visible means of support. Job, residence, yada, yada. That's actually a separate area of inadmissibility. And there's no waiver for that. There's a way to beat that, but there's no waiver for that. But before we get into it, I'm going to show you guys some of the tools we use in order to clear these people in these cases. We use the government manuals, instructions, pamphlets, and the items that a lot of the high-end firms use to get you cleared. The only difference is we get you cleared, but we do it at a lower cost than the high-end firms. But it's the same material, same techniques. So just to show you, this is one of the manuals that we use. I won't show the name because, again, competitors are always looking for a way to monetize it and Jew us down. So here we go. I can do like this. There. This is one manual here. Another manual, this is just a basic manual. So, I don't care if they get this one. They won't know how to apply it. So, but two of the most important ones we have many. Like I said, we do have many, but two of the most important ones we have, and you guys have seen me do this before. Our Homeland Security Manual, Volume 1. And this is a lot of material that we use to get people cleared on various cases. And this material you cannot find online. This is material basically that firms share amongst themselves in order to get people cleared or work on their cases. And we're lucky to have the same material, as I said. So I'm trying to find, what can I find in here, give you guys a bit of a teaser. Let's see here. No, I won't show that. Yeah, see, that's one of the tough things about this kind of work is because the fact that I'd love to show you guys more, but then I have to watch out for competitors always trying to find ways to Jew us down. I'd show this one. Now, this is the CBP. In order to put together I'll do like this. In order to put together a TN visa, this is the criteria that CBP uses, and you guys get a quick look. You can even see that. Anyway, so basically, yeah, we'll go down this list. Okay, we got that. Employment, degree, health worker, state license, waiver. Okay, it's also for waivers. Okay, good. I need to keep this out. So I can't seem to get this. I cannot really afford to destroy any of this stuff because this stuff is extremely difficult to get. Okay. Okay, so there's that one. What else? Yeah. This one is basically this page shows some of the crimes that don't require a waiver, and some do, some don't. This is actually part of our September letter section. I won't be showing that one for sure. Okay, so anyway, so you guys get the picture. So yeah, so look, yeah, so this is volume 1, and we got this one, volume 2, and you can see how thick this puppy is. Oh, this is just, okay, now it's fine. And again, a bunch of stuff we use to get you cleared. Some stuff in here is from way back in the day that is no longer available. So we get firms that contact us and ask us if we have something, so sure. And I pull it from this manual. I'll go ahead and photocopy it or email it to them. And that's fine, because they work with us, so I don't mind working with them. They send us business that they can't handle, or cases they wish for us to prepare, so they can take the credit. And I'm fine with that. That's fair. What I'm not fine with is Batman's pardons and waivers, thinking they're going to try to do the same thing, Jew us down, and say, don't go to that bald-headed guy. Come to me. I'll do it for $300. Well, Batman can bite the big one. All right, so this goes down here. All right, so now I'm back to the good stuff. Again, back to this good old manual here. Reasons for inadmissibility. So you guys can be deemed inadmissible for various things. I won't tell you about this one because it's going to cause a whole bunch of confusion if I do. But there's a category called physical or mental disorder. And I'm glad this came up because, a quick story, we had this one woman that came to us, and long story short, she went out to the border. She did a sworn statement talking about her mental health issues and all that stuff. Bad idea. So she has no criminality at all, but because she went down to the border and discussing her mental health issues, what was it? It was some bipolar, anxiety, PTSD, and about 4 or 5 other things. And she did a 15-page sworn statement. That case, so I discussed it with the staff, and we decided not to accept it. It's because of the fact that, one, she had an advocate, and her advocate was just asking us about her case and what we're going to do and get it cleared. But the minute I heard advocate, I said, you know what? This is going to be an issue with this case, because what happens is, if the border would have denied her, which is a good possibility, then the advocate would have said, oh, it's the fault of you guys, and just a whole bunch of BS. So I said, you know what? I said, we probably cannot help you at this point in time. And there was no offense to her, but I got to look out for the good of the business. So it wasn't worth the money. Not to mention the fact that that's easily a $5,000 to $6,000 case, and she only wanted to pay, or could only afford to pay $1,000. So I said, it's not even worth it. So she left. I mean, she didn't really want to, but it's just not worth it when we can make that same amount of money from a guy who used to move major weight, and now he's rehabilitated and drives a truck. So to me, it's a no-brainer. So for physical mental disorder, I can read in here. Yeah, so basically, it's certain behavior that would deem you to be essentially a significant risk. Current physical mental disorder, okay. Presence of physical mental illness does not determine, okay. Presence of physical mental illness does not determine. It must be a current physical mental disorder and behavior. It poses a threat to safety, property, welfare, yada. Yeah. So pretty much when you get down to that border, if you start talking about mental health issues, voluntarily, you guys are just starting to dig your hole. And these cases can be a headache to clear because then you have to see the doctor, in this case, Dr. Chima, and we know him well. He's a nice gentleman. So you have to see Dr. Chima. He does an assessment. And if he feels you have a physical mental disorder, then you don't get approved, you're denied. Simple as that. So, and the thing is, the doctor, he cannot look at you and tell if you have a disorder. He has to talk to you, he has to question. So these guys are going to go by, same as the border, they're going to go by whatever you voluntarily admit to, whatever you choose to disclose. So we try, like I said, we don't get too many of these kinds of cases, but when we do get them, we let the person know it's an uphill battle, to get cleared. And quite often they decline, which is fine because it's too much work and they usually don't want to pay the fees to get this done. When they realize the amount of work that's going to go into it to get them cleared, including doctor assessments and a whole bunch of other stuff I won't mention, so for the competitors' sake, they say, nope, never mind, can't afford it. I say, it's fine, no, fair enough. There's another one here, alcohol abuse. Well, yeah, that falls under physical mental disorder. So if the border thinks basically if you're an alcoholic, you're not going across the border. Simple as that. But how would they know if you're an alcoholic? Well, it's whatever you voluntarily choose to admit to these nice officials. You go down to the border and the guard sees you have, I'll give it a scenario. You go down to the border and the guard sees that you have 3 DUIs. A DUI by itself does not make you inadmissible. But you go down to the border, he sees the 3 DUIs, he says, oh, in fact, I'm going to role play. Here we go. Had an organic coconut. So I'm saying, Mr. Coconut, well, how are you, sir? And he said, oh, I'm fine. I said, hey, we looked at the computer and you got a couple of DUI charges there. What's the deal with that? Why do you have so many? And he says, what do you mean so many? Well, I don't know. It looks like you got 3 convictions and you've been charged 3 or 4 times, or maybe was it 8? He says, no. I only have 4 convictions and I've been charged at least 9 times. I don't know. It's been so many. Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. So many. Yeah. I can understand, where you're coming from. Because you got so many DUI charges, it's easy to forget the number. He says, yeah, that's right. I said, that's right. I said, why do you have so many, do you think? And Mr. Coconut says, oh, well, I like to drink. Oh, well, what do you drink? Do you drink wine? Do you drink beer? Do you drink or Old English 800? Do you drink malt liquor? What do you drink? He said, oh, I drink all that, more. And, oh, okay. Well, would you say, 4 times a day? He said, I don't know, some days 4, some days 5, some days 2. Okay. Would you say at least 5, 6 days a week? Yeah, something like that. Sometimes 7. Oh, okay. Why don't you go have a seat, Mr. Coconut? Oh, what about now? Have you had anything to drink today? Oh, I had a few beers. Oh, how long ago? I don't know. 2 hours ago? Oh, I thought I smelled alcohol on you. Oh, well, I'm not drunk. So no, that's fine, sir. That's fine. Let's go have a seat. Well, Mr. Coconut just talked himself into some major problems. He just opened a major can of worms. Not only is he possibly driving under the influence, which is a whole different story, he basically has opened the door to indicate that he possibly has an alcohol abuse issue. So then what's going to happen is he's going to be re-interviewed, a sworn statement will be done, and he's likely going to say the wrong stuff. So he's going to be deemed inadmissible under the physical mental health category disorder. And that can be cleared, but again, that's major work. Because we actually had someone similar to that, and we got him cleared, but it was major work. And I told the guy, I said, you've been better off if you were moving major weight by the tractor trailer load. That would have been less headache to get you cleared. He said, unbelievable. I said, well, that's the truth, which it would have been. So he got cleared. I mean, he definitely had a lighter wallet at the end, but he got cleared. And it's the same thing with the other category, if they deem you to be a drug abuser or addict. And this is what screws a lot of people. When you guys go down to this border and you start admitting to these border guards, which for the life of me, I just don't get why you do that. But anyway, if you admit to doing your then or your you guys have just opened another major can of worms, because the fact that the guard is going to say, okay, fine, you might possibly be an addict, but he's also going to do a sworn statement to say to the fact that, oh, in order for you to, you must have had the reefer in your hand. You say, well, yeah. Oh, so if you had it in your hand, sir, that means you had it in your possession. In fact, let's use Mr. Good Old Coconut again. So, Mr. Coconut, I see you've been charged here with possession of narcotic, but you were never convicted. Why? Well, what did you have? What's the deal? Well, I got stopped by VPD, Vancouver PD, and they found 2 joints in my pocket. Oh, okay. They didn't charge me anything. I said, okay, that's fine. Well, why do you have joints in your pocket? Oh, well, I didn't have time to. I didn't have time to leave them home, or I didn't this, that, whatever reason. Let's say I didn't have time to leave them home. I said, okay, well, that's fine, fair enough. But if you have joints in your pocket, that must mean you must smoke a lot then. Well, I do sometimes. Oh, what, 3 times a day, 2 times a day? So, man, sometimes I smoke 4 or 5 times a day. Oh, okay, all right, okay, fair enough. Do you also, don't you make some money selling it, or have you ever sold it? Well, I don't know. It depends what you mean. Now, he thinks he's helping himself. I know he's another one digging this hole. Because a lot of people don't understand how the immigration code is written. They go by whatever, regarding inadmissibility, they go by whatever voluntary admissions you give and whatever relevant conviction that you may have. So if you've been charged with PPT, and you guys know what PPT is, you PPT guys, if you've been charged with PPT, but you were never convicted, and you go down to the border and the guard says to you, well, how much weight were you moving? What did you move? And you say, oh, well, I moved a couple of bricks here and there. So, oh, well, you just admitted to possession and trafficking, and you need a waiver. So, but before you guys go onto the border, you need to come talk to us and let us do an assessment just to make sure that you don't get yourself jammed up. But anyway, so getting back to, if you're a drug abuser or addict, if they think you're an addict based upon what you voluntarily say, well, you need a waiver. But you're going to be the same classification as the physical mental health disorder in terms of proving that you are not an addict. The guard can't really look at you and tell if you're an addict. He has to get you to voluntarily admit to it. And there's another one called, if you're a public charge, that means, well, I think I discussed this already. They think you don't have a job or any visible means of support, then they can turn you around. You say, well, no. And a lot of the young girls fall into this category because they live at home with mom and dad. I guess some of the guys too. And they're either at university or they're looking for a boyfriend or a sugar daddy, which that's a whole different video regarding massage. And the border says, okay, Sue Ellen, you live at home, you don't have a job, you don't really have many bills, you don't go to school, what do you do? And you say, well, I don't really do anything, I just hang out with my friends. Okay, so you don't have a place to live or a source of income? Well, no, my boyfriend takes care of me. And we're not even going to discuss the sugar daddy part. That's a totally different video. So she is a good chance she's going to talk herself into the public charge category, and they're going to turn her around. She's going to come to me, and I'm going to say, why did you tell these guards that you don't have this and that? I said, well, I don't. Oh, well, how do you get money from? Don't you sometimes like volunteer to like babysit or work part-time, like doing like, labor, like cleaning up, like house cleaning? Well, yeah. Well, why didn't you tell the guards that you do house cleaning then? And you get paid for it. Why didn't you tell them? You could have easily stated the fact that you're a self-employed laborer, which you would be, mind you, might be working 2 days a week, but you're a self-employed laborer, which is fine. And you work part-time, whatever, and you're looking to go to school. So then she doesn't know what to say. Or I get really passionate about some of this stuff because I don't get people. So regarding that, then it's a certain way we gotta get her clear. I won't go into that in detail here. Again, for the competitors who like to circle like sharks, we can get that cleared, but that's another uphill battle. There's some other categories. These are visas. Okay, this is about income. This ties into what I just said. Okay, health workers. It doesn't, I'm not going to go into that. Oh. Oh, sorry about that, guys. And we got the good old ones about criminality, and that's the subject for another video for inadmissibility. And we got stuff for like overstays. That's a different area as well. By the way, if you only have an overstay, that does not mean you necessarily need a waiver. I'm sorry, take that back. If you have an overstay, that does not mean that you're inadmissible for life. If you overstay 1 year or more, then you're inadmissible for 10 years. If you overstay and if you made a false statement or fake name or fake passport to the guard, and they can determine that you've indeed done this, then yeah, then you have the lifetime ban. And they talk misrepresentation and what happens if you don't volunteer information. I won't go into that one because competitors can use that. But it's actually something that we can use to help you without me going into detail. We got overstays. Said that. Good. This is a criminality again. Oh, here we go. Definition of a conviction. Basically, if you guys, how can I say the simple way? Basically, the simple way of explaining this, if you guys went to court and a judge says, okay, you have a fine, sir, of 1 cent. So because you have a fine of 1 penny, you're still deemed to have been convicted, essentially. So it doesn't have to be $1,000 fine, it could be a 1 cent fine. Or if you have probation, as again, you're deemed to have been convicted. People don't understand that. Like, people don't understand what an arrest is. An arrest is not necessarily you're taken away in handcuffs. This also was called, what we used to do is called a non-custodial arrest, where we would arrest you and then give you a notice to appear in court. That's the days when I was in a patrol car, when I pushed the patrol car. And I'm not going to go into my background too much in detail here. You guys can see it all on the site. And then talk about right to counsel, yada, yada. Felons, refugees, yada, okay. Anyway, so you guys get the picture. So bottom line is there are many areas of inadmissibility, not just criminality. So a lot of this is going to depend upon what's in that computer and whatever you voluntarily admit to. No one can, and I hear this so many times from clients, they say, well, the guard made me, the guard did this. Unless that guard put a gun to your head and said, do it, he didn't make you do anything. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because of the fact that in these sworn statements, which that's another video we're going to do, in the sworn statements, I think the second or third question down, they say to you, are you willing to answer my questions at this time? And that's yes or no. If you say, no, sir, I'm not, then there's no sworn statement done. I mean, it's that simple. I don't get why people don't understand that. He's asking you, are you willing to answer my questions? And that's either yes or no. Or you might say, I don't know. He said, no, no, ma'am, I need a yes or no answer. You say, no, I'm not willing. He cannot do a sworn statement. Now, I'm not giving you guys legal advice, not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you how the system is set up. So, but then the guards will play the game of saying, well, yeah, just be honest. Just, use the psychology BS, yada, yada, yada. And the people that fall for it, I hate to say it, the people that fall for it are the ones that don't have any street knowledge. The ones with the smaller offenses or maybe admit to smoking weed, whatever, they don't get this. but the guys have like the pages of offenses, the former heavy hitters and that stuff. They know this game. They say, no, sorry, sir, I have nothing to say, or I don't know, or I cannot recall, sir. I don't know. Those people are actually easier to clear than the guy who stole a rowboat. I know, it's crazy. So that's why, generally speaking, the smaller fish, the ones who have small offenses or who go to that border and are the ones who get screwed majorly. But the bigger fish guys who have bigger crimes in the past, they already know, how this game works. So they never ever fall prey to it. They say, sorry, sir, nice try. Have a nice day, officer. And then, the border guard gets angry and either lets him in or say, go back to Surrey. Then they come to us, okay, done, and it cleared. So that's kind of why eventually, not now, but eventually we may shy away from small fish cases. Not now, but I'm still making a decision on that. It just really depends. So anyway, guys, so I don't want to bore you guys too much. I just want to have a chat and let you know about various ways you could be inadmissible to the USA. And again, it's Ken Scott of www.usentry-waiver-services.com at 888-908-3841 and 604-332-9213. And, well, I was supposed to say the other part, www.usentry-waiver-services.com. And in the words of my Vulcan colleague, as you guys know, I'm going to say, live long and prosper.
I got to tell you, folks, wait till Hulk Hogan comes out here. The roof is going to come off the Bell Center here in Montreal. As the anticipation builds, you can feel it. The legendary Hulk Hogan is a heartbeat away